Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids series. Back with me again, Joseph, your host. On September 22nd, the Church honors Saint Maurice and Companions, Martyrs of the Theban Legion. According to the hagiographical material, Maurice was an Egyptian, born in AD 250 in Thebes, an ancient city in Upper Egypt that had been the capital of the New Kingdom of Egypt, 1575 to 1069 BC. He was brought up in the region of Thebes, Luxor. Maurice became a soldier in the Roman army. He rose through the ranks until he became the commander of the Theban Legion, thus leading approximately 1,000 men. He was an acknowledged Christian at a time when early Christianity was considered to be a threat to the Roman Empire. The legion, entirely composed of Christians, had been called from Thebes in Egypt to Gaul to assist Emperor Maximian in defeating a revolt by the Bagaudae. The Theban Legion was dispatched with orders to clear the Great St. Bernard Pass across the Alps. Before going into battle, they were instructed to offer sacrifices to the pagan gods and pay homage to the emperor. Maurice pledged his men's military allegiance to Rome. He stated that service to God superseded all else. He said that to engage in wanton slaughter was inconceivable to Christian soldiers. He and his men refused to worship Roman deities. When Maximian ordered them to murder local Christians, they refused. Ordering the unit to be punished, Maximian had every 10th soldier killed, a military punishment known as decimation. More orders followed. The men refused compliance as encouraged by Maurice, and a second decimation was ordered. In response to the Theban Christians' refusal to attack fellow Christians, Maximian ordered all the remaining members of the legion to be executed. The place in Switzerland where this occurred, known as Oggenum, is now Saint Maurice, Switzerland, site of the Abbey of Saint Maurice. So reads the earliest account of their martyrdom, contained in the public letter which Bishop Eucherius of Lyon addressed to his fellow bishop Salvius. Alternative versions have the legion refusing Maximian's orders only after discovering innocent Christians had inhabited a town they had just destroyed, or that the emperor had them executed when they refused to sacrifice to the Roman gods. Maurice became a patron saint of the German Holy Roman emperors. In 926, Henry the Fowler, 919 to 936, even ceded the present Swiss canton of Argot to the abbey, in return for Maurice's lance, sword and spurs. The sword and spurs of Maurice were part of the regalia used at coronations of the also Hungarian emperors until 1916, and among the most important insignia of the imperial throne, although the actual sword dates from the 12th century. In addition, some of the emperors were anointed before the altar of St. Maurice at St. Peter's Basilica. 929, Henry the Fowler held a royal court gathering Rexaversamlong at Magdeburg. At the same time, the Mauritius Cloister in honor of Maurice was founded. In 961, Otto I, Holy Roman Emperor, was building and enriching Magdeburg Cathedral, which he intended for his own tomb. Maurice is traditionally depicted in full armor, in Italy emblazoned with a red cross. In folk culture, he has become connected with the legend of the Holy Lance, which he is supposed to have carried into battle. His name is engraved on the Holy Lance of Vienna, one of several relics claimed as the spear that pierced Jesus' side on the cross. Maurice gives his name to the town Saint Maurice, as well as to numerous places called Saint Maurice in French-speaking countries. The Indian Ocean island state of Mauritius was named after Maurice, Prince of Orange, and not directly after Maurice himself. Over 650 religious foundations dedicated to Saint Maurice can be found in France and other European countries. In Switzerland alone, 7 churches or altars in Argot, 6 in the canton of Lucerne, 4 in the canton of Zolater, and 1 in Appenzell Innerrhoden can be found. In fact, his feast day is a cantonal holiday in Appenzell Innerrhoden. Particularly notable among these are the church and abbey of Saint Maurice in Valais, the Church of Saint Moritz in the Engadin, and the monastery chapel of Ensiedeln Abbey, where his name continues to be greatly revered. Several orders of chivalry were established in his honor as well, including the Order of the Golden Fleece, Order of Saint Maurice, and the Order of Saints Maurice and Lazarus. Additionally, 52 towns and villages in France have been named in his honor. Maurice was also the patron saint of a Catholic parish and church in the 9th Ward of New Orleans, and including part of the town of Arabi in St. Bernard Parish. The church was constructed in 1856, but was devastated by the winds and floodwaters of Hurricane Katrina on the 29th of August 2005. The copper-plated steeple was blown off the building. The church was subsequently deconsecrated in 2008, and the local diocese put it up for sale in 2011. By 2014, a local attorney had purchased the property for a local arts organization, after which the building served as both an arts venue and the worship space for a Baptist church that had been displaced following the hurricane. On the 19th of July, 1941, Pope Pius XII declared Maurice to be the patron saint of the Italian Army's Alpini, Mountain Infantry Corps. The Alpini have celebrated Maurice's feast every year since then. There are several Coptic Orthodox churches named for him. The Our Lady of Law's apparitions included an apparition of Saint Maurice. He appeared in an antique episcopal vestment and told Benoit Renquerolles that he was the one to whom the nearby chapel was dedicated, that he would fetch her some water before drawing some water out of a well she had not seen, that she should go down to a certain valley to escape the local guard and see the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, and that Mary was both in heaven and could appear on earth. Maurice is the patron saint of the Duchy of Savoy, France, and of the Valais, Switzerland, as well as of soldiers, swordsmiths, armies, and infantrymen. In 1591, Charles Emmanuel I, Duke of Savoy, arranged the triumphant return of part of the relics of Saint Maurice from the monastery of Agon in Valais. He is also the patron saint of weavers and dyers. Manresa, Spain, Piedmont, Italy, Montalbano, Jonico, Italy, Scavi di Abruzzo, Italy, Statsulza, Germany, and Coburg, Germany have chosen Maurice as their patron saint as well. Maurice is also the patron saint of the Brotherhood of Blackheads, a historical military society of unmarried merchants in present-day Estonia and Latvia. In September 2008, certain relics of Maurice were transferred to a new reliquary and rededicated in Schiavi di Abruzzo, Italy. He is also the patron saint of the town of Coburg in Bavaria, Germany. He is shown there as a man of color, especially on manhole covers, as well as on the city coat of arms. There he is called Coburger Moor in English, Coburg Moor. A shrine was built above the ground where these brave soldiers died, and miracles began to be attributed to the intercession of these martyrs. The traditional story of these martyrs has been scrutinized for its historical accuracy. As there is little supporting evidence for the slaughter of an entire legion of Roman soldiers, the account of the martyrdom has probably been exaggerated. What seems historically likely, however, is that a soldier named Maurice and a number of his companions were martyred in the 3rd century. What remains unknown is the number who were killed. Perhaps the story of the martyrdom of a small, brave squadron of Christian soldiers, over repeated tellings over many years, became the slaughter of a legion. Relics of Saints Maurice and Companions all rest in the reliquary chapel in the basilica. The bust of Saint Maurice pictured above stands in the Rachlin Murphy Museum of Artit, is designed to be a reliquary vessel itself. Although today it stands empty in the museum's medieval gallery, Saint Maurice is also patron saint of the Pontifical, Swiss Guards at the Vatican, and also of soldiers, swordsmiths, and weavers. Saints Maurice and Companions, you faithfully led your legion to martyrdom. Pray for us. That's all for today's adventure with Catechism for Kids. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss an exciting episode. See you next time, and God bless you always.